A single young man moved into a newly rented house. But at night, he couldn't sleep and heard many strange sounds, such as the door suddenly being opened, the lid of the washing machine suddenly being closed. The story happened to Xiaozhang, who moved to a new place for work in mid-October last year. He had a very regular routine, going home after work, washing up, playing with his phone, and usually falling asleep around 11 p.m. However, on that particular night, something strange happened. No matter how hard Xiaozhang tried, he just couldn't fall asleep. It was almost 1 o'clock in the morning when he suddenly felt the urge to urinate and decided to go to the bathroom. As he approached the bathroom door, he suddenly felt something at his shoulder. It was as if someone riding a motorcycle at high speed had lightly tapped his shoulder as they passed by. Xiaozhang immediately turned around, but saw nothing. He thought it might be his imagination due to exhaustion from work. After using the bathroom, he lay back down on the bed and continued trying to fall asleep, but still couldn't. Around 2 o'clock in the morning, he was lying in bed browsing his phone when he heard the sound of someone taking a shower in the bathroom, with the water running loudly. At first, Xiaozhang didn't pay much attention to it. He thought it might be his neighbor taking a shower because he lived on the top floor and there was no one living above him. But then he suddenly realized something was off. The house he rented was directly opposite his neighbor's, with no adjoining rooms at all. He became more and more puzzled as he thought about it. He walked out of the bedroom and turned on the living room light. He originally wanted to go to the bathroom, but when he saw the tightly closed bathroom door, he suddenly felt a bit scared. Perhaps it was his sixth sense, but he didn't dare to enter. He shouted, "Is anyone in the bathroom?" As soon as the voice came out, the sound of someone taking a shower in the bathroom stopped instantly, so abruptly that there wasn't even the sound of drops of water falling. Someone had broken into his house. Xiaozhang was very scared and quickly ran back to his bedroom, closing the door behind him. But he was too scared at that moment and forgot to lock the door. He went back to his bed and was about to call his friend. Just as he illuminated the screen, he heard someone knocking on his bedroom door. The sound was not loud, but rather a soft and stuffy knocking that continued without stopping. Xiaozhang didn't dare to even peek his head out from under the blanket. After a while, the knocking stopped. Just when he thought everything was okay, he mustered up the courage to peek out from under the blanket. His scalp almost stood on end when he saw that his bedroom door was wide open. If it weren't for the light still on in the living room, Xiaozhang wouldn't have dared to get up. In the end, he bravely ran downstairs, closed the door, locked it, and called his friend. They chatted for a while, and his attention was distracted, making him less afraid. Meanwhile, drowsiness slowly crept up on him, and he started to doze off half asleep. At that moment, Xiaozhang was still somewhat conscious. During that period, he was suddenly pinned down by the bed as he heard the sound of bathwater flowing from the toilet again. Just as he tried to get up, he found himself unable to move. Moreover, the sound of the bathwater seemed to be getting closer and closer, as if it were already in the toilet. He was very scared and wanted to move but couldn't. In this tormenting moment, he suddenly saw a dark figure running from the bedside to the living room through his eyelashes. At this time, his body suddenly became able to move. Covered in cold sweat, he dared not sleep anymore and suffered from a fever for 4 days after staying awake until dawn. From that day on, there were many bruises on his legs without any reason. His friend gave him a suggestion to place a copper mirror and a pair of scissors under his pillow. Xiaozhang followed the advice. Sure enough, nothing strange happened those days, nor did he hear any strange noises. Thinking everything was fine, he removed these items. However, 2 days later, at more than 1 o'clock in the night, he was sitting in front of a dresser in the bedroom, collecting his phone. When he was absorbed in looking at the screen, he suddenly heard a loud noise coming from the coffee table in the living room. Startled, he summoned up his courage to slowly turn around, only to find nothing there. He quickly packed up his things and lay back in bed. However, he couldn't sleep again and tossed and turned restlessly. As Xiaozhang closed his eyes and tried to fall asleep, he suddenly heard the lid of the automatic washing machine in the bathroom slam shut with a bang. Usually, this lid was left open because they were afraid of any peculiar smell being trapped inside. Even when it was closed, it wouldn't make such a loud noise. This sound was like someone intentionally forcibly closing it. At the moment that sound ran out, Xiaozhang felt a chill coming from beside his right bedside, blowing on his hair. He immediately felt a shiver and as if someone was standing by his bedside, but he didn't dare to look outside. could only bury his head in the quilt and fell into deep sleep unconsciously. The next day, when he woke up, he quickly moved to another place and never dared to live in that room again.